Great days start with great underwear. So if you're looking for something special, give Tommy John and gift a better day. Everything we make is meticulously crafted from breathable stretch fabric for the perfect fit, including our sleepwear for him and her. It feels good to give, but it feels great to give Tommy John. Find something for everyone and pick up something for yourself, because at Tommy John, greatness is in our very fabric. Shop Tommy John's Black Friday sale now. Save 30% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/Spotify. See site for details.
What is a future contract, and how do I make money or lose money with a future contract, and what are the different markets I can trade? And then, okay, once I know all that, how do I actually trade? And then how do I make my decisions to trade? And, all of that has to come together.
The trader keeps, I believe, 90% and your company takes 10% for the privilege of using your money to invest. Is that right?
That's right. And we paid them the first 100% of the first $25,000.
Oh, isn't that great?
So there you go.
I'm sure there's a few people listening that can't wait to get started.
Welcome to the Manage Self, Lead Others Leadership Podcast with Nina Sunday for experienced and aspiring people managers. This show will help you explore ways to become a more intentional leader. Each episode, host Nina Sunday speaks with some of the brightest business minds on the planet who share a passion to elevate and transform team culture. Workplace culture hides in plain sight. Is yours flourishing? Join the movement to make your workplace a better place to work. Are you ready? Because it's time to manage self, lead others.
This episode of Manage Self, Lead Others, I welcome Darrell Martin, founder CEO of Apex Trader Funding, who helps traders in futures to execute with precision entries and exits. Because Apex Trader Funding is an education company, he helps traders remove analysis paralysis. Darrell Martin also writes for CEO World magazine. Welcome, Darrell Martin.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
I'm truly intrigued because about a decade ago, I thought it might be time I got into stocks and shares and day trading, and I signed up for some expensive course. This is here in Australia.
Oh, I paid for some of those.
It was technical analysis, and I had analysis paralysis. I went, I'm not going to spend my days doing this.
Right.
So I let it go.
No.
But now...
Yeah. A lot of people get caught up and they get overwhelmed by it, and they will get too much, and they try to think they need to do it for 8 hours a day, and that's just not possible. Yeah,
exactly. You've got a life to live, and what's good, and we'll go into your company in a moment, but what's good, it's 23/7. It's 23 hours in the day.
23/6. 23/6. Yeah.
Oh, 23/6. Yeah, which works for Australia because of the different time zone. But so tell us how you've made day trading in futures easy, both for the curious beginner and the seasoned expert if they want to move across to your system.
Well, I wouldn't completely call it easy. I'd say it's easier than you think it's going to be, right?
Good.
It's not near as hard as you think it's going to be. So,
and that is a disclaimer, because you have to know what you're doing, because you can lose money if you don't know what you're doing.
Right. So, I mean, it takes effort, and it takes ideally somebody guiding you along the way of just understanding how it works and putting it all together. And, what is a future contract, and how do I make money or lose money with a future contract, and what are the different markets I can trade? And then, okay, once I know all that, how do I actually trade? And then how do I make my decisions to trade? And, all of that has to come together. And so, whenever I first started trading, I had to, bought that expensive course. I bought some expensive courses along the way, and most of them were worthless. But, and I was making videos for my daughter, so that way, if something ever happened to me, this was when she was being born, when she was first born. So that way, when she got older, something ever happened to me, she would know how to learn how to trade. And one of my friends begged me for 2 years to turn it into an education company. Finally, I did. And the whole idea was to, teach somebody how to not have to go through all the crap that's out there, and hopefully give them, a good, I guess, solid start, upper hand, to getting on the right track to move towards trading, and hopefully, be profitable in the process.
That's marvelous. You were thinking about legacy from the day she was born.
Yeah, literally.
Well done. Yeah. And so tell us more a little bit how you actually launched you call it an education company, is that right?
Yeah, I launched apexinvesting.com. I launched that, don't know, over 15 years ago, like 16, 17 years ago now. And I launched that to help traders learn how to trade. So it has a whole system to it. We call it Sniper. So it's instead of like just shooting off at every single target, you're focused in, and then you're very specific and very peculiar about which ones.
Yeah.
You're not overwhelmed by the analysis paralysis, because it's like either it is or it isn't the shot, that you should take.
Right.
And so, it took a long time to put that together. It took a lot of traders to put it together.
And that's having a certain set of criteria that you either do the trade or don't do the trade if it fits the entire criteria. Exactly.
So, and we set I worked with a lot of traders to make the system. Like it's built by a community. This isn't my the guru system. Okay. This is a community of traders coming together, working together, making a solid system that, we have, we're trading day in, day out, and making it as easy as possible. My biggest goal was to make it duplicatable, because so many things out there in the trading world are the guru has to be able to see it, but there's no, if you don't tilt your head just right and stand on one foot, you're not going to see the same thing on the chart they do. And this is sort of it's laid out very black and white, ABCD, on how to, pick potential trade setups. And one of the big things we teach is how to know which ones not to take, something nobody tells you. So just because there's a green or red arrow type thing doesn't mean you should take the trade. So there's often many circumstances, and we teach those, why you should not take trades.
Fantastic.
And so we're really just putting all that together and making it where they come in and they can be brand new, and they can learn in a safe simulation environment where they don't have to pay anything or risk anything. And then, once they're ready to move on to, the actual desire to make some money, then that's where I ended up launching a funding company where we put the risk up. They don't put the risk up, and they just take an evaluation to show they can make so much without losing so much.
Yes.
And if they do that, then we put the risk up, and then they can actually, take profits, and 90% of the profits.
So I've heard the phrase a prop firm. Is that a correct term?
Yeah, there are different ways to word it, and there's different kinds of prop firms. I just call us an evaluation funding company. Keep it really simple. We're not getting.
I was going to say the trader is using your money, but with your guidance and also with your evaluation, they have to satisfy all the criteria that you set up.
Yeah, I would say not with our guidance. So the investing company is one of many options.
Right.
Well, it's one of many. We offer a lot of different education companies on our trader funding site.
Ah, right.
So it's not just Apex Investing. That's one way traders can learn how to trade. And but we teach them how to trade. That company teaches them how to trade without needing us at all. But the funding company really doesn't do that. What it does is it provides access to websites that teach you how. So there may be, 3 or 4 or 5 other different companies that show different ways to trade. We really don't care what way you trade, just that, ideally you're profitable in doing so. And we keep it really, really simple. We keep it where literally don't hit your trailing drawdown, which is, it's basically a stop loss that just, as you make more, it moves up.
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So don't go back down and hit that, and then hit your profit goal. So we keep it that simple. Trade, for at least 7 days. So, it could be, doesn't matter if it's more than, it could be at 2 months, whatever, to hit that profit goal. It could be 7 days to hit that profit goal. You do that, and then you pass the evaluation, and then you moved into what we call a paid account stage. And that's where you can actually get paid.
And in the beginning, how many hours a day should a new person devote to learning the system and learning which trades to do in the simulation process?
So if they're going the Apex Investing route, they really any route, it depends on how much time they have. I've seen traders literally pour through the entire thing in a week on Apex Investing, and I've seen traders take 4 or 5 months. So, are you going to spend, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day, watching videos, practicing, asking questions, all that?
Right.
But it really is, it's when you're comfortable. So the nice thing about it is you don't have to rush into it. Right. And, go through, study it. Now, be willing to go, hey, this is a profession.
Yes.
Like being a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, just not near as hard. You have to go to law school for as long. But things like that. But it is a profession, so you got to treat it as such. You got to study. You want to learn from other professionals that do it. And you want to get in a community of people doing the same thing. So you can.
I was going to say they've got access to the community as well.
Yes. So there's an online community. They have small group rooms on apexinvesting.com where they can get small group mentoring. There's a live trade room where trades are called out every morning, where they can ask questions, all the questions they want. So that's definitely a big avenue for them at the Apex Investing website. And then Apex Trader Funding sort of tries to stay neutral, right? Because we have a lot of different education companies that use our funding company, with their traders.
Right.
So we don't want to step on all their toes by we're the only place you should go to learn education. And then they send people our way and then they leave them, right? We don't want that. So like I said, we don't really mind what method you use, just as long as hopefully you do well at it, right?
And of course, I'll mention at this point, in case some people leave the podcast early, it sometimes happens. If they use a coupon code, Nina Sunday, one word,
at apextraderfunding.com,
they'll get a significant percentage off the I know the first month is free, but ultimately there is a monthly cost.
I want to clear the confusion on that. On Apex Investing, the first month is free, the second month is $1, and then it's $200 a month after that.
Yes.
Now that's for learning how to trade.
Oh, okay? Right.
Now at apextraderfunding.com, that's where you take an evaluation to get funded.
I see.
And that's the site that you're going to want to use Nina Sunday on, because you can get right now through the end of July, you can actually get 80% off.
Yeah.
And often it's 25 to 50%. Right now it's 80% off an evaluation. So it can save you a huge amount through the rest of this month. And then, like I said, 25 to 50% months after that.
This is really interesting, Darrell. They start with apexinvesting.com, learn the system, and then they'll self-graduate to apextraderfunding.com. Is that
correct?
Right?
If they want to use our system, yes. Or they can use another website, another system, and then graduate to apextraderfunding.com.
Oh, right. Okay. So it is a step-by-step process, and treat it as an income-generating activity that you would spend as self-employed, self-engaged activity that will definitely earn you great income. Although,
and myself, I only spend a couple hours a day, maybe 1 to 2 hours a day trading.
Right.
So once you have it down and you're doing you're not going to trade. See, a lot of people get their idea that day trading is an 8-hour a day job or 23-hour a day job. It's a 1 or 2 hour a day job.
And
because
a lot of people
you just can't do it.
And a lot of people listening are from all over the world. They already are managers or have positions in companies,
exactly.
But they can fit it in perhaps after dinner or before dinner, between getting home from work or first thing in the morning. So they can fit it into a busy day and still work their job. And it just gives people that, well, in uncertain times, it's nice to have another stream of income coming in, but nothing is certain. There's risk involved, and that's why you have to put in the time to really understand what you're doing and learn the system, correct?
Yes, not only that, 100%. You've got to put in the time, but at the same time, trading is so risky. I mean, it is. It's very risky. Anybody who's looked into it knows there's a lot of risk. That's where Apex Trader Funding comes in, because now you're paying say 80 or $100, $200 for an evaluation.
Yes.
Versus losing $2,500 or $7,500 in the market, or $20,000. So you could literally take multiple evaluations, and not even come close to what you'd lose in a single trade or single day. So it saves you so much money in that learning process that the evaluations themselves can be part of the educational process.
And of course, I'm not really clear on what an evaluation is, but I think,
and I bet a lot aren't. Yeah,
it's a matter of taking the step forward, and the system, the website, and the tools explain it to you, and it becomes clear. So today is really just an overview to get people understanding that there is a way to do day trading, a couple of hours a day or an hour a day, in a way where you're not risking your nest egg. You're taking calculated risks using other people's money, OPM.
That OPM, there you go. Like that literally, I mean, I think you just summarized it perfectly. So there is a way to invest in the markets without having to risk your money.
Yeah.
And by investing that, you don't have to invest that money in the markets, but you can still get paid out.
Yeah.
And we explain a lot more on the website. What an evaluation basically is it's a simple test to see if you can make so much without losing so much. But
and you have to do that before every trade or every week?
No, you just do it. You just have to do it. Once you do it, then you're funded.
So I see. But then, of course, if you make some errors, you might have to do a fresh evaluation. Yes.
That's right.
Okay.
But that's the worst case, is taking another evaluation, not funding another account with your own cash.
Yes.
So
now I've looked you've got what? How many thousands of traders around the world? 30,000 a year ago. How many now?
Like 75. Yeah.
Wow. That's exponential growth. You've doubled the numbers, more than doubled. And I had a look at the countries around the world. We've got listeners in all over the world: Ireland, India, of course, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, USA, UK. So it is something that is a global. This is a global phenomenon. This is incredible. And of course, you've got algorithms that kick in that limit the losses. Isn't that right?
Yes. So we have exactly. We have risk management built into place automatically, and we explain exactly how that works and all that to you as well in our videos. And
Now, I read somewhere the principle that you must withdraw your profits. You don't buy and hold. You buy and
yeah. Well, I mean, you want to
get withdraw your profits.
You want to get paid to trade, right? I mean, you're doing the work. You want to get paid to do it. So and some people can get so caught up in building up an account and the ego from the size of the account, they forget that, hey, you're supposed to go spend it on stuff. Yeah. Whether that be debt or savings or kids' college or, just going out to dinner, whatever. But you need to withdraw money. That's your goal, is to withdraw profits from the account, at least once a month, ideally. If not more.
You want to see a trader manage profit and manage risk.
Yes.
And you won't continue to fund them unless they're being responsible with that and being successful with it.
Well, I'd say yes. I mean, we don't just take it away from them, but they have to hit their stop loss.
Yes.
They have to lose that money. Remember, we said they had that trailing stop. And then it actually stops at a certain point. It doesn't keep going up. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say they can lose $2,500.
Yeah.
Okay. So if they lose that $2,500, they have to start over.
Yeah.
Okay. But as their account gets bigger and bigger, then now they have 10,000 or 20,000 or 40,000 that they can risk. Right. So they have a lot more that they can,
that's right.
Go down on. But as they make more, they have more that they can risk. But yeah, we limit it to, it depends on the size of the account. But we limit that amount that they can lose. And then if they do lose that amount, then they have to start over an evaluation. Yeah. But I mean,
so
it's a pretty kind teacher. So
yeah. And I've sort of got a sort of a general overview, because I saw on your website you can choose a 25K, a 50K, different amount accounts.
300,000. Yeah. And you can actually choose up to 20 accounts. So
yes,
at once.
That's right.
So.
But that multiple accounts would require more time.
No, not at all. Actually, you just use a trade copier, and it's a very simple tool, and it'll copy trades between multiple accounts at the exact same time. So
right.
You can so instead of trading 10 contracts at one account, think about it, if you can only lose $2,500, what if you had 10 accounts?
Yeah.
Well, now you have 25,000 you could lose, and instead of trading 10 in one, you could trade 1 in 10, and that gives you a lot more risk that you can take, where you can ride the markets.
And
so
I've seen almost a similar process, or a similar business model, if you like, in real estate, where if people do a development, the assisting company takes a small profit off the top. So the trader keeps, I believe, 90%, and your company takes 10% for the privilege of using your money to invest. Is that right?
That's right. And we paid them the first 100% of the first 25,000.
Oh, isn't that right?
So there you go.
I'm sure there's a few people listening that can't wait to get started. what else? Well, what's your biggest winning trade?
My biggest winning trade is a little over 400,000.
Right. How long ago was that? Like, was that, you'd have to be pretty
months,
seasoned.
maybe 6 months, something like that ago. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And so can you tell us exactly what futures are as opposed to stocks and shares?
Okay. Yeah. Well, shares, stocks are just a share of a company. Like if you take an apple pie,
that's
you
right.
cut it up, it's like a piece of the pie, right? A future is saying, I'll buy this at a future date and a future time at a set price, or I'll sell this at a future date and a future time at a set price. Okay. Now you don't have to hold it until that date. You can buy it. It goes up in value. You can sell it. Or what a lot of people don't know is you can sell it. It goes down in value. You can buy it back cheaper. So you can make money in either direction. Trading.
That's sounding a bit like an option.
It's sort of like an option, but a lot less complex. You buy it and you sell it, and you buy it. You don't have like time value and implied volatility value and all those other different values that you got to learn with options. There's basically 5 main ways you can make or lose money with an option. Okay. There's one way with the future contract. I guess 2 ways you could say, but basically you buy low, sell high, or sell low, sell high, buy low. Right. So really just directionally is the only way you can make or lose money with a future contract. Whereas time, you can lose money in options with time. You can lose money in options with volatility. You can lose money in options with interest rates, So there's a lot of different ways to make and lose money in options. There's only one way to make and lose money buying stocks and, futures, which is what I just explained. Yeah.
Right.
So just buy low, sell high.
So futures is definitely the way of the future, an easier, less complicated way in a very uncertain world.
Yeah, much easier than options. And I came from an options background. I quit my day job trading options. So I love options. I'm just saying futures are simpler because you don't have to learn those 5 ways.
Right.
And the other big benefit is, they're leveraged, which is good as long as you have the control of the risk, which Apex Trader Funding helps you provide you.
Yeah.
And also you can trade them 23 hours a day. Whereas stocks, they have stock market hours.
That's right.
And you can still trade stock indices like NASDAQ and S&P 500. You can trade gold. You can trade cattle. You can trade, all sorts of stuff. Oil, So a lot of the big, bonds, things like that. So you can trade pretty much every market in futures.
Right. Oh, okay. So can you decide which market you want to specialize in or?
100%. Yeah. I mean, some people trade dozens. I just literally trade mainly NASDAQ and the S&P 500 myself.
Right. Does it have to be US futures or?
We have CME futures, which are US, and then we also have Eurex futures as well on one of our platforms.
And any country that you work in, there's 100 countries listed. If they're not in Europe or in the US, they would still be looking at either Eurex or CME, correct?
Yes, which are open 23 hours a day. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. So tell me more about the growth. How is it that it's grown so fast in the last 12 months? Because I was looking at some old videos on YouTube where it said 30,000 traders. And I went, well, I must ask Darrell what it is now.
Right. Well, I mean, I think I built the company just like I sort of built the investing company.
Yes.
I built it as what I wish I would have had when I started. And so I checked out a lot of the different funding companies.
Yeah.
And the problem with most of funding companies is there's a lot of hype, a lot of good packaging. Okay, we'll put it that way. A little good marketing, right? But when it comes to the bottom line, why would you pay to do an evaluation and get funded? It's not to do the evaluation. It's not to get funded. It's to get paid.
Yeah. That's right.
And so I built the company around wanting to pay out the most money to traders. And a lot of companies are now trying to copy us in a lot of different areas, you know. But when you really dig down into their fine print, they have a lot of little extra details here and there, that trip you up. And I mean, we paid out more than what used to be the largest funding company. We paid out more in the last 3 months than they have in the last 3 years.
Right.
So literally, 90 days, we paid out more than they have in 36
You're
months.
Right.
That's
great.
And so, I mean, we're blowing them out of the water as far as, but now they may come out and say, well, we're faster at this, or we're better at that, or what? I'm like, why did I sign up for funding when I signed up for it before I started a funding company? Well, so I could get paid. And so the bottom line is not how fast you can get funded. It's not even how fast you can get paid. It's who pays out the most, because that's the company you want to be with, the company that's actually has the stuff put in place to make it where you can get paid out the most money. And so that's what I wanted as a trader. And I think other traders have resonated with that, and it's grown.
And all my dealings with you and the people leading up to this conversation, I've come to understand that you are coming from the heart and not from a place of greed. And you're swimming with the sharks, but I think you're a dolphin.
Yeah, I'd say I sort of like to see us as Main Street, and a lot of the sharks are Wall Street, right?
Oh, got it.
And so we try to help out. We try to help out Main Street, because that's where I come from, right?
And you're very proud of your team too. You've got some really fine managers and that are committed to excellence, that are making sure everything runs like clockwork.
Oh my gosh, we have I think the best people in the world. Yeah, like I mean, they're all traders.
Yeah. So
they've all been through the education process. They've all been through the funding process before they ever got hired. We make sure they have experience in it, and they do this because they love doing it, because they love helping people. They love what Apex is doing, and they're amazing at their jobs. So they go above and beyond.
Well, I'm thrilled that I've got the privilege of being one of your affiliates.
Yeah.
So they can get a significant discount if they use my code, Nina Sunday, one word.
Yes.
Where do they go to get started?
Well, once you're ready, then hop on over to apextraderfunding.com, and then choose your plan.
Yeah.
And choose Nina Sunday. If you want to learn more about different ways to trade, check out our tools page. We have all the links to all the stuff on there on that. But you're going to want to go to apextraderfunding.com. And
when would they go to apexinvesting.com before that?
They can go before that, yes. So, and that's on the tools page. So if they go to the tools page of Apex Trader Funding, they'll find Apex Investing.
Okay, so the wise step would be to take it step by step. Start with Apex Investing.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of knowledge, and then move into apextraderfunding.com. Are there any final words you want to say to our listeners about this wonderful opportunity to move into an area of trading?
As a first, just thank you for taking the time to listen. And two, I mean, if you've been looking for a secondary income, or maybe to replace your income or primary income, I think trading is the best way in the world to do that. So obviously you got to choose for yourself, but I've done everything I can to make it as accessible as possible. And I think if you check it out, you'll be very satisfied. You can check out our website, watch the videos on there. There's 2 short videos on the homepage. They'll teach you a lot about how this works. So if you're feeling a little confused, you're like, okay, I want to trade. I like the idea of not risking my own money and still getting paid. And you definitely want to go to the website, apextraderfunding.com. Watch the 2 short videos. That'll help explain more of how the whole process works, and it'll clear a lot of stuff up for you.
That's fantastic, Darrell. I've truly enjoyed exploring this whole day trading issue. I think you've made it really accessible and simple for people. They still have to manage the risk and be focused and treat it like a profession, but it doesn't have to be full-time, at least in the beginning. When they've got success, then they might want to kick their day job and make this their full-time.
Well, when you make it a full-time income, it doesn't necessarily mean a full-time job. I mean, you have to work 8 hours a day.
Yeah. You
can still just do an hour or 2 a day. Most traders that I know that do very well only trade for an hour or 2 a day.
That's lovely. So, very accessible and good for the family life as well. So that's good.
100%. Yeah. And being a father, I'm definitely all about that.
Thank you, Darrell. It's been amazing talking with you today. I'm just excited to be able to share this with our listeners. So thank you for your time today. It's been very articulate and very clear.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
I mentioned in the in my conversation with Darrell that more than a decade ago, I was looking into buying a very expensive day trading ongoing training course. I also bought a DVD in options. So I was dipping my toe in the water, but I always found it complicated. There was a lot of risk. I had to invest my own money. And now suddenly, down the track with digital tools and the benefit of being able to work with the best in the world through the World Wide Web, I've been referred to this Apex Trader funding, where you use OPM, other people's money, to make a profit, and they just take 10% and keep 90%. But for the first $25,000 of profit, you keep it all. It's like, this is like a dream from heaven. It's manna from heaven. So we'll see. We'll see you inside the trading room, and I wish you good luck. I will do the disclaimer that you have to be focused. You have to put in the learning time, the learning curve, in order to really know what you're doing. So you manage risk and also manage profit, and withdraw your profits and invest them elsewhere nicely. Bye for now. Thanks for listening. This episode of Manage Self Lead Others, I was speaking with Darrell Martin, founder CEO of Apex Trader Funding, who helps traders in futures to execute with precision entries and exits. If you go to apextraderfunding.com, and if you do decide to join, use the coupon code Nina Sunday, one word, and that will give you a 50% discount. Because Apex Trader Funding is an education company, he helps traders remove analysis paralysis. Until next time, bye for now.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.